very good afternoon to you. Welcome to the news in English. This is 340 International, and welcome also if you're tuning in on 107.7 FM on Radio Mijas. We remind you at this point also that you can pick up all our local news bulletins and the interview section on the Mijas International Facebook. It's uploaded in the evening straight after the news, so you have got an option there also. Having said this, we'll begin with our local news referring to the POT. This is the Plan de Ordenación Territorial, and it refers to the urban territorial planning here on the Costa del Sol. The governing team is asking for responsibility from the Junta de Andalucía for them to promote this POT plan for the Costa del Sol in a reasonable fashion. Yesterday, the spokespersons for all the groups in the corporation held a meeting with the councillors for town planning and infrastructures to analyse how the change, or the cancellation in this case, of the POT from 2006 will affect Mijas. In October, the High Court declared null this plan for the territorial order of the Costa del Sol, and in this meeting held yesterday, they have explained exactly how this affects the municipality. Municipal experts, the Secretary of the Town Hall, the Department for Legal Advice and the Council have held a meeting to evaluate the impact that this sentence has had on our urban planning, and the criteria of that meeting will be reported to the other municipal groups so that they can know what lines of action are going to be followed by the Town Hall. One of the consequences of the cancellation of the POT will also be the paralysation of the approval of the partial revision of the PGOU, and this is for the urban planning in Mijas also, and this will now have to be drawn up once again. We're going to work on the drawing up of a partial revision of non-developed land that we are now putting into place, and obviously with the cancellation of the POT, we have to reformulate that revision. And town planning has in fact highlighted that this sentence does not affect the PGOU for Mijas, which dates back to the year 1999 and which does have full legal guarantee. Continuing now with another matter, the Mijas Town Hall is going to be ceding, and has in fact already ceded, the premises that they are allowing to use for the Association of Active Disabled Persons called ADESAL. This has been ceded by the Mijas Town Hall to this association, which was created in 2010 and has the objective of enabling access to the employment market to persons with discapacities. Since it has been created, it has achieved more than 70 contracts for these people. With this gesture from the Council for the Promotion of Employment, they intend to help persons with discapacities to find work through this association. We seek to reach that group of persons, and for this there is nothing better than approaching the Association for Active Persons with Discapacities, called ADESAL, which precisely works for this, the training of persons with discapacities and their integration in the working market, taking advantage of the faculties and the possibilities they have with this training. ADESAL, which, as we've mentioned, has been working since 2010, seeks work for persons with disabilities in accordance with their training. In this new headquarters that has been ceded to the association, they will also be able to offer advice to their members about the basic income program, where it's also possible for them to participate. Mario Bravo explained about this also. From here, they will complement other tasks that they carry out in the town hall in Mijas, as well as being included in the basic income program or any other course to promote employment, and this case will be directly aimed at persons with discapacities. The president of the association has stated also how much he appreciates this help that is being offered, and most particularly from Mario Bravo. Jerónimo Angulo is the president of ADESAL. We want to thank the Mijas Town Hall, and most especially Mario Bravo, who has been the promoter of all of this, for all the help that they give us. Above all, allowing us to have our headquarters in a municipal building where we can carry out our work as comfortably and efficiently as possible. This department, which is run by Mario Bravo, the Department for the Promotion of Employment within Mijas, has denounced the delay that is being accumulated by the Junta, the regional government of Andalusia, with regard to the starting up of the employment plans for persons, in some cases under 25, in others over 25 years of age. The Council has highlighted that the government of Andalusia is suggesting now that they will be starting up the courses, the training courses for employment, in the second quarter of 2016. We once again are seeing the problem of the lack of creation or non-starting up of the employment plans directed at under 25 and over 25-year-olds. As you know, the Junta in 2015 used the argument that they were changing the regulations and that instead of establishing an age limit of 30, they were going to bring it down to 25 in order to delay the plans, basically. This has meant that in 2015 there have been no plans to train for employment. As mentioned, it seems that these will begin in the second quarter of 2016, but Mario Bravo has also said that they will not, in fact, they have not, in fact, given any precise dates yet for this. Continuing with the Costa del Sol, and good news on this occasion, because it has closed a record year when it comes to tourism, and in fact they've broken all the records. There has been an economic impact on the Costa del Sol of 11,500 million euros. 2015 has marked a record in this sector and has brought very positive consequences to another, that of employment, generating an increase of 6.4% in the amount of posts created. We already marked maximums in 2014 in the tourist sector on the Costa del Sol, and 2015 has overcome this record, becoming the best exercise in history with an economic impact, as mentioned, of 11,500 million euros. The number of tourists themselves have gone up by 4%, and this is a significant increase. And also referring to the national tourism, it has gone up by 6.27%, and therefore we're seeing large increases in both the past years. The number of tourists has increased by 4% until reaching 10.6 million euros, being the highest figure ever on the Costa del Sol, a record year. We must highlight above all the recovery of the national market, which has grown by 6.27%, while the international market has gone up by 2.33%. Elias Bendodo has been also speaking, being the president of Turismo Costa del Sol, which is the tourist board on the Costa, and he has also added that the tourist sector has been the motor for the recovery of employment, and that in 2015 the number of tourist companies has also increased on the Costa del Sol. 143,000 posts are generated by the tourist industry, direct and indirectly, in the province of Malaga, and therefore it is a very important figure. The creation of tourist companies has increased by 6.17% last year, which is also truly important, and the number of persons on social security has gone up by 6.41%, working for the different service companies. Bendodo also added that we have seen an increase in the number of passengers that arrive to Malaga by plane. This has gone up by 4.59%, and also by the AVE high-speed train have gone up by 2.87%, and that the cruise ship passengers have more or less maintained the numbers, and therefore there is some more to do. We have seen an increase in the number of arrivals from the 17 main countries connected with Malaga, with an important increase in the number of passengers from France, Denmark, Italy and Sweden, among the most consolidated markets, and Finland, Poland, Russia, Turkey and Austria among the strategic markets. And continuing with tourism, Bendodo has also been speaking about the fact of the provisions that we have for this year to come, and they are also very positive. He stated that he is, of course, very satisfied with the information from 2015 and is very optimistic in regard to the provisions for 2016. Bendodo continues to state that this year we're going to be seeing an increase again in tourists and in overnight stays in the province.
Las previsiones son
The provisions are truly optimistic and foresee an increase of 3.4% of tourists to the more isolated tourist areas and a 4.9% increase in overnight stays in the first quarter of 2016. Bendodo assures that Turismo Costa del Sol, the tourist board of the Costa del Sol, will continue to work on the same lines as they have in the year 2015, although they will be inciding more in the promotion of cruise ships arriving to the port of Malaga. I think that there is still a lot of work to be done and above all much to be recovered in regard to the arrival of cruises and therefore passengers. There is an association of municipalities here on the Costa del Sol which englobes 11 of the municipalities. It's called Mancomunidad, and they have now offered their budget also for 2016, which amounts to almost 79 million euros. The accounts of the supramunicipal body include an increase of 510,000 euros in investments for improving the treatment plant in Casares. There is a reduction in staff costs by more than 55,900 euros, and all unnecessary running costs are eliminated. On the revenue side, the ordinary annual contributions of the municipalities are maintained. The fee for services of solid waste collection provide an input of 330,000 tonnes, and the grant of 500,000 euros for interests and repayment of capital to meet the objective of the plan is obtained. In addition, the fee for 2016 for Acosol, which is the water company, does not increase. Time for us to take a short break, and we'll be back in just one moment.
Mijas Town Hall invite you to get to know the municipality through their guided walks programme, organised by the Tourist Office.
Check your Mijas weekly local newspaper on Fridays for the trips organised and the starting times and places. Call 952 589 034 or send an email to turismo@mijas.es.
More information at the Mijas Village Tourist Office.
Pulse Control J. Pulse Control J.
They are not responsible, but you are. To leave excrement in public areas is uncivil and results in a serious fine. Be responsible and take it away with you.
Pulse Control J. Pulse Control J.
The Association of Retired Persons and Pensioners, Virgen de la Peña and Mijas, of Las Lagunas, has convoked a General Extraordinary Assembly to choose a new president. There are presently more than 800 members in this association, being one of the biggest in Mijas, and they work for the well-being of the elderly persons in the municipality. On the 30th of November 2015, the person who was until now president of the association, Juan Garcia, presented his demission, and this was in a general meeting. His personal reasons were the ones that took him to take this decision, and now we have the declarations of Juan Garcia, ex-president of the Association of Pensioners Virgen de la Peña.
The motive is personal. I'm a person that likes to do things, sort problems out. I like to be with people who move things forward. This is what it should be, no?
The association for this has called or summoned a General Extraordinary Assembly to choose the new president, and this will be on Saturday, 30th of January at 6 in the afternoon on first calling and at 6:15 on second calling. Those interested in participating in this position or wanting to opt for the position of president will be able to do so have been able to do so until the 25th of January at the headquarters situated in Calle Benjamín with no number in Las Lagunas.
On the 30th, a new president will be chosen, and the president will be presented by the local committee, certainly.
During the assembly, they also will speak about what the association has done until now, which, as mentioned, already has some 800 members, and they're going to highlight also the fact that they are reivindicating having their own pensioners association built for them.
The balance is outstanding. It's something to be recognised. There are around 800 members. I believe it is an association that stands up for things, for policies, and we are striving for a better quality of life for pensioners and seniors here in Mijas.
The 6th edition of the Historical and Ethnographic Research Awards is now open, and the period for submitting the works is open, and these can be submitted until January the 15th at the Folk Museum. The event aims to promote the study of the history of Mijas from different approaches and points. These awards, which as mentioned are in their 6th edition, reward the research by groups and individuals. Culture promotes this event to offer the residents and visitors more and better knowledge of the past of the municipality. The Villa de Mijas Historical and Ethnographic Research Awards are divided into two sections, one historical and the other ethnographic, free, themed, provided that they be based on Mijas. Prizes for each category are of €1,000, and the publication of the work is also included. Entries should be submitted in duplicate until January 15th and shall in no case be less than 60 pages and never more than 400. The presentation should be made at the Folk Museum in Mijas, and the jury will announce the winners during the 6th Conference of History and Ethnography to be held on the 12th and 13th of February. The Youth Association, MIBU, has organised last Sunday a cycle of film projections, all with animated cartoon films that are very up-to-date these days. Following the broadcasting of the films, those present were able to talk about this type of films and about the series that were projected. And this is one of the proposals to do on a Sunday afternoon, offered to the members of the MIBU Association, and is totally free of charge. We spoke to the Member of Honor of MIBU, Daniel Gomez.
We want to have screenings for the new season. We don't want to close it. For instance, we could open with Fairy Tale for the new winter season. It's well known. We want to have public screenings of the latest titles of the season.
Among the films that are being projected by MIBU, we have, as mentioned there, Fairy Tale and also a well-known series called Dead Note.
Other types that we could have, for example, is Dead Note, about a teenage boy who has a notebook, and when he puts the name of the person in it, you can kill that person. It's very interesting. The protagonist is bad, and in this particular case, you can play it in the face of this.
And yesterday we saw the start to a new program here in Mijas, on Mijas 340 on the Spanish television in the mornings. It's called Open Box, and the idea is to get all those that watch it to be in shape, in physical shape. And every morning from 10 in the morning, there will be trainers offering a session of training that will help you to be in better shape and face the day with more energy. All you need to do is put on your running shoes and turn on the television every day from Monday to Friday here on Mijas 340, and Open Box from 10 in the morning will be offering you the opportunity to do some exercise. Time for us now to take a look at the weather, see what we can expect for tomorrow. it does look like we can expect some very cloudy skies tomorrow, 13th of January. The maximums have gone down just a little, down to 17 degrees, and the minimum will be 11. Time to take a look at some of the headlines in the Spanish press. We have just one national item. We'll be taking a look at the court case with the King's sister, and then a couple of items on Andalusia and Malaga. Beginning with El País, 3 judges in the Balearic Islands will decide in the coming days whether Cristina de Borbón, sister to King Felipe VI, will finally sit on the dock in connection with the Nos case. After a 13-hour session inside a Palma de Mallorca courthouse, in which 18 defendants sought to convince the panel that they should be exonerated from the trial, the 3 judges set February the 9th as the start date for the trial proper. And what they're saying basically in this new document is that the King's younger sister was a partner in Aizón and not a manager, and that her role in the case requires an administrative penalty and not a criminal prosecution. We'll keep you updated on this matter. Coming now back to Malaga, the Sur newspaper is talking about the fact that on the Day of the Three Kings, while the whole city was watching the parades, the Dombella, an amazing ancient tree of enormous size facing the gazebo of Loring in the Botanical Historical Garden, fell to the ground with a crash. It was in the afternoon, and thankfully due to the wind, the park was closed to visitors. The reason for this news item, however, is that some 20 trees of over 100 years of age have fallen in this park in Malaga due to the lack of maintenance. And what they're saying, and according to Blanca Lasso de Vega, who is the person in charge of investigation and publication, has stated that the amount of persons looking after the maintenance of this park have gone from 16 in 92, as well as the aid of 20 persons, to just 7 that are covering the current perimeter of 230,000 meters. And the Opinión newspaper is bringing us good news with regard to transplants, because in Andalusia, once again, they have broken the record with regard to the amount of transplants that have been carried out. There have been 761 organ transplants registered, 453 kidney, 41 heart, lung 35, 24 pancreatic, and a lung, etc. And what they're saying, that the donations have placed the rate of donations in Andalusia at 38.5 donors per million population, which exceeds by far the highest figures achieved to date in 2014. This was back in 2014, and also in the last year above the EU and US average. And what they're saying is that the families have said yes in 81% at the end of 2015, when they had to decide whether or not their beloved person was going to be donating their organs. So a very high percentage in Andalusia, which is always good news, because they are giving life to others always, and greatly appreciated by all the families involved. With this news, we'll say goodbye for today. Coming up straight afterwards is Karen with the interview section. Back tomorrow with plenty more. Do hope you'll join us. Bye.
Good afternoon and welcome to the interview section of Mijas International. Today I have 3 guests for you. Jason Nicholas Ritchie, and he's from Atlantis PMR, which is a real estate agency and property management, and they're based in Calahonda. And they work pretty closely with the community, and they have lots of art gallery information for you and workshops. And there's a particular one coming up on the 15th of January, and it's with 5 artists. And we're going to find out all about it. We have 2 artists here for you from that group. And they are Luis Bujalance Ruiz and also Beatriz Payan Buldu. Good afternoon to all of you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. And we're going to find out all about your works and what's going to be at the exhibition from Friday in one moment. First of all, though, we're going to find out more about Jason and the reason why you like to help, you know, artists in the community, people in general, with exhibitions and workshops.
Largely because I believe that there are a lot of very talented individuals living here on the Costa del Sol, and I'd like to highlight who is buying property or who we're selling property to, and also new people who are moving to the Costa del Sol. I think it's also important that they know what is available for anyone who decides to live here. Yeah,
as far as culture is concerned and all sorts
exactly.
of things.
And also our phrase with our company is "we make a difference," and is taking our real estate company to another level, and to be able to show the community why we're making a difference. So by giving, showing expositions or different events, we're highlighting what is available and how we can actually help the community as well. Yeah,
because as I say, you are real estate and property management, and when people are buying or renting, they perhaps, especially buying, they are looking at interior design and all sorts of things, aren't they? And if they can get ideas from local artists and use local artists, even better.
Well, the thing is also, when you buy a property, or any property throughout the world, whether it be a hotel, an apartment, a villa or whatever, every property, every wall space has a picture on it. You know, so we actually feel that by exhibiting art is a fantastic complementary for any current home or new home. And this is why we wanted to highlight different artists. We also offer the aspect of interior design as well. In fact, Beatrice, who's also one of the artists, has also worked in that field as well of interior design. And we also have our own interior designers within Atlantis as well.
Okay, lovely. We'll come back to you because there's some more that you've got to tell us about, which is interesting. But we'll start with you, Luis. You're described by the press as a globe-trotting Spaniard because you've travelled to lots of different countries and had exhibitions as well in different countries, including the USA, Norway, obviously Spain, and I presume the UK because you trained there.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about your work and the techniques that you like to use.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my work is mainly abstract. I use photography also. I really like working on wood because it gives me the chance to put more material, and the asphalt is quite sticky.
That's interesting. Yes, you work with asphalt.
Exactly.
Yeah, with some of your works coming up on the screen now as we're talking, and it looks very, very different.
Yes, I've been working with asphalt like for 10 years or so. I just discovered that I could play a lot with it, with acrylic, and then spray and varnish on top, and the textures are, I don't know, I have a lot of fun painting.
Yeah. You can see that in the work. And just going back to training in the UK, how did you find the UK? How long were you there?
Yeah, well, I was studying there. I lived in London like 15 years ago or something. I was just learning the language, but I always wanted to take a master in St. Martin's, and in the end, 5-7 years ago, I managed to do it.
Yeah.
And it was really nice, very interesting. I learned a lot, and I intended to stay there because I really like London. But in the end, I had to come back, and then I was working in Norway and the States, so I'm kind of busy.
And how did you make the contacts in the USA and Norway?
Well, Norway, I started selling here in Marbella, and one of my customers was Carlos Lamas. He's an architect. And, well, people visited his house, and they liked the painting, and it was like a very good kind of networking with people. So I met some Norwegian people, and they also introduced me to some galleries in Kristiansand, Bergen, and Oslo. So now I keep the contact and I have a show every now and then.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
And obviously keeps you very, very busy doing all these different exhibitions. Always thinking of, something more creative than the last piece of work I did.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm thinking that it's kind of too much work for me to send the paintings there, take care of everything, and hang the exhibition, and then, not everything is sold in the end, so I had to take them back, and so now I'm trying to work more here. So that's why I'm trying to make new contacts in the coast and.
And the works that just came up on the screen are going to be in the exhibition, aren't they?
Oh yeah, the red one.
So
yeah, it's going to be 5 pieces, and one of them is on canvas, and the rest are wood, one of the heavy ones. And I hope people like it.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. The inauguration, I believe, is at 7 o'clock on the Friday.
Yeah, it's on Friday.
Yeah.
7 o'clock till 9:30. Probably go later because it normally does. With canopies and sushi and kava and wines. It's free entry, and it's the opportunity to meet the artist,
That's what I was just thinking,
admire their works. And I think it's a really important opportunity for the community, especially in the Mijas Costa area, because you've got art galleries in Marbella or wherever, but in this particular area, there isn't any. And the last exhibition we did, which was with Muga Fischer and José de Sol, proved to be very popular. A lot of people it gave us a lot of interest, and also collaboration with a lot of like magazines and furniture companies, etc., that were interested in the paintings, which is also a good opportunity for the artists as well. So it helps everybody. It helps us as the agency, and also the artist and any collaborator that comes in.
So it's sort of like all working together, as you say, networking. And Beatriz, you're one of the group of artists that are also exhibiting at Atlantis. You have worked for many, many years as a sculptor and an artist. Can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Yes, I study fine art in Santa Isabel de Hungría in Sevilla, and now I work marble and some paintings, and I prefer
to work with marble.
Yes, because marble is more direct.
Yeah.
And I always work with wood.
We've got actually one of the images of your work here on the screen, and you can see all the smooth lines that's there in the sculpture.
Yes, the first idea is the figurative, and is a little expressionist.
Yes, yeah.
But the first part is figurative.
And also lots of...
And transform it.
And you like expressionism as well?
Expressionist, because is more... I enjoy more with expressionist than the others.
Yeah. And you were saying you belong to the movement 88.
Yes. When I finished the university, we moved to Aracena with a grand exhibition, a big exhibition of art, and I bring a big sculpture that this Friday, the next Friday, I put in the exposition of Jason.
Oh, lovely. So everybody will get to see that.
Yes, it's a nice stone because has a lot of wets, very, very nice, of red color, pink color is very, very nice.
And you were saying earlier that your art symbolises the energy in the universe. You like
Yes,
to work with that.
the positive energy in the universe, yes.
And you've exhibited locally as well, haven't you? Estepona, Marbella.
And I have had some exhibitions in the Fuerte Estepona, in the old Fuerte in Marbella, and in Cafeteria Marbella also, and in the H10 in Nueva Andalucía.
Okay, so we can look forward to seeing some of your works at the exhibition. Thank you. And Jason, there's 5 artists altogether, and they're all sort of very different to each other, so there's going to be lots of diverse things to see.
We've called it an eclectic collection because they're all 5 very diverse images, but they all use a lot of colour. And from the last exhibition, the paintings that were the most attractive to the eye or that brought clients in through the door were the ones with colour. So this is why we wanted to bring in the colour. And also, people are on holiday or whatever, they see something colourful, it lifts the spirit.
It brightens them up, doesn't
exactly.
it? Yeah.
And also for any new home or anything, to have a nice, bright, colourful painting on the wall is...
it's a bonus to your new home.
Yeah, exactly.
It is. Yeah.
Or current.
Yeah. Now, you've also got a workshop we're going to mention briefly that's coming up on the 16th and 17th of January. It's an international spiritual medium, and it's Bev Mann. She's coming over from the UK especially to do this. So can you just tell people what they could expect when they come along to that, and how much it will be? It's whatever happens.
I mean, also the reason that Bev is coming is, apart from the real estate industry, we've also been very much working on the spiritual, on Reiki, on all sorts of different aspects of spirituality. So I think it's really nice to incorporate this. We have a space upstairs. We have an office on 2 levels. On the upper space, we have workshop space available. So. And because Bev is a friend of a friend, and then she was coming here to the coast, so we said, look, why don't you do a workshop? It's proving to be very popular. And we call the area the Starfish Lounge, because part of our emblem is the starfish. So it's the Starfish Lounge, which is available for workshops or anything. So with Bev's workshop, it's €120. It's 2 days. It's incorporating the connection with the spirit world, understanding. So a lot of people have questions about that aspect of that other world.
Yeah.
So it's learning how to interpret messages, how to work with your aura, how to meditate, how to still the mind, all aspects associated with that.
Okay, great. And
and it also includes refreshments and light snacks, but bring food to share, and that's also a nice way to connect with other people as well.
No, that's true, yeah, very true. And as you say, it's €120 for the both days, and they can get in touch with you through your website.
They can either come straight to the office and put a deposit down for the course there, or they can contact us by email or phone.
Okay, lovely. Thank you very much. All the best with the exhibition.
Thank you so much.
And I hope that your works are all purchased by the local residents that come and see it. Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. And Mijas International can be followed on Mijas International Facebook and on Radio Mijas 107.7 FM, as well as Mijas 340 Television. Back with you at the same time tomorrow with all the local news and the interview section as well. Hasta mañana.